going back to your journey, I mean, having 5 kids, your time management, what is that like? Because, I mean, just having 5 kids in and of itself, you basically can't do anything else other than, be with the kids. So how are you able to manage that?
Well, I ignore them a lot. I neglect. No, I'm just kidding. I get my workouts in before they're awake. So, like this morning, I woke up at 4 a.m. My alarm's set for 5, but you know, I know it's awful. It's so awful. But I'm more of a morning person anyway. So between 4 or 5, I get up and I'm try to be in the gym, my home gym, by about 5 a.m. to get it done before they get up. Because if I wait later in the day, they're too needy. Kids are so needy. Oh, mom. So I get it done so that I can have it with no interruptions. Get it done so that no one's bugging me.
How long do your workouts usually last?
Well, now that I film it, that's a funny thing. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. But now that I film it, it takes a little longer. So I would say about 90 minutes or so. But before I give myself 60 to 90 minutes depending on the day.
When did you decide that you wanted to start an Instagram profile on this?
You know, it's funny. It was my husband who was pushing me to do it. I'm like, I don't know. He's like, you can inspire people. I'm like, who's going to be inspired by some stay-at-home mom, some middle-aged woman who, you know, but he was right. I get messages from women all over the world. They're just, I'm so inspired by you, and I watch your workouts every day, and you help me get off the couch and get it done. And it's like the coolest thing ever. Um, so it was him. He's the one who pushed me to do it, and I've I have maybe 3 selfies in the last 10 years until I started this Instagram account. I'm so critical of the way I look. I'm like, oh, I don't want to look at my face. Um, and so where I was working out, we didn't even have mirrors in there. So I don't know. I didn't know what my form looked like. I had no idea. So I'm like, okay, we're going to start recording this, because I felt like a badass doing these work. These are like next level hard workouts. This is not for a beginner. And when I started, I went all in. Like some women will ease into it, they'll do a couple circuits. I'm like, no, we're going all 5. And that worked for me. I adjusted quickly. It hurt. Like after that first day, I have never been more sore in my entire life, and I thought maybe I shouldn't work out the next day because I thought I might be damaging myself. But I'm like, nope, I'm paying for this. It was the first program I ever paid for, so I'm like, you're paying for it, you're doing it. And so fast forward to May of this past year, I started this Instagram, and it took these isolated, solitary workouts and just expanded them to the world. And it's just the coolest thing, just connecting with the other Queen team members and just the fitness community in general. It's the coolest thing. It's made it such an enriching experience, and then just seeing that my form through these videos doesn't completely suck was like really a nice gift. Because you don't want to put stuff up and then you look like some poser, or like, gosh, that girl, what is she doing? She's gonna hurt herself. But so far, no one's been like, oh, you don't know what you're doing. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. I look like I know what I'm doing. But, I'm Alexia's soldier. She tells me what to do, and I do it.
Well, and that's why I love having health and fitness guests on, because it is such a positive environment. I mean, we see on all these posts, all these positive comments that people leave, and it really is an environment where people generally care about each other. So I love to just help bring that positivity on as well. But we are now almost 2 weeks removed from New Year's Eve in the new year, the new decade. The gym is still going to be absolutely flooded with New Year's resolutioners, and I get a little sad when I think about that, because there's been studies released that only like 15 to 20% of people actually accomplish their New Year's resolutions, because a lot of people they go into the gym without setting specific goals, so then they just go in there, they do like what you're talking about, where they just work so hard on the first day that they just become so sore the next day that they don't want to go in. So then some of them only last a couple of weeks, and there's always the joke that, I mean, if you want to go to a gym, go in February, because the gym's going to be completely empty. What advice do you have for people trying out to get healthy and fit now, especially in the new year, so that they can stick with it? Because a lot of times just the motivation can really be lacking for some people.
Yeah. I think just choose a program that you're going to be able to stick with. If you're doing something that you're miserable doing, and honestly, some of Alexia's workouts are miserable. They're so hard. Leg days give me anxiety. But then you're like, oh, this sucks. But then when it's over, like, oh, that was the best thing ever. Um, just choosing something that you can stick with and then committing to being consistent. I don't know what I mean. For me, it's a non-issue because I my consistency is just insane. But I think if I didn't like Alexia's workouts, I probably wouldn't be showing up to do them, you know? So,
Have you always been consistent in a lot of things in life, or was it just a trait that you really picked up for this?
I've always been pretty consistent. Once I decide I'm in, I'm all in. You know, I've been married for almost 21 years. Once I decided he was the man, I mean, it was him and me from that moment on. But what I guess what really helped my discipline with the working out is my husband's an artist, and so you can imagine that whole starving artist thing. It's real and it sucks, and we went through that, and it was hard. I mean, we knew 100% it was the right path to go on, but it was just so hard. There's so much you don't have any control over in your life, and I knew the only thing I had control over was getting a workout in. And so that was my saving grace through those years that were so hard. Okay, I'm not sure if he's going to sell anything, but I'm going to go get that workout done.